comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one. There are people dying. Oh, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all. We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change. We all a part of God's great big family. And the truth, you know, love is all we need. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me. Well, send them your heart so they know that someone cares, and their lives will be stronger and free, as God has shown us by turning stone to bread. And so we all must lend a helping hand. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a brighter day. So let's start giving. Oh, there's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives. It's true, we make a better day. Just you and me.
C&D presents the No BS Show. With your hosts, Chris Mize and Doug Dock. It's the No BS Show. Take it away, guys.
So some retro stuff.
What year was that?
Good question.
It's the late 80s, early 90s, I believe.
Right. And there's a reason I played it, and we'll talk about it in a little bit.
All right. First off, I want to thank all our veterans out there. Like we do all our shows. Without you guys, we wouldn't be able to do what we're doing. I want to thank all the military serving overseas and homeland, protecting the freedoms we got left. Thank all our first responders, police, fire, EMS, doctors, nurses, and tow truck drivers. We really appreciate you guys. Starting out the show tonight, unfortunately, the racing community took another blow a couple hours ago with, I just found this out, about 15 minutes ago. I was on the phone with Dean Henry, hung up, and was getting ready to get in the shower and that, and I got a message. Greg Rooney from Owen Barberton Speedway passed away. All our prayers go out to his family and his racing staff at Barberton Speedway. So I don't know the details. I know Greg wasn't doing very well health-wise, but he's been in the hospital for the last week or so, last week and a half. But our prayers go out to his family foremost and his racing family at Barberton Speedway. So keep them in your prayers tonight when you go to bed. So kind of strange. It's just talking to him 2 weeks ago at Toledo Speedway.
Right.
We're back and forth and talked to him on the phone right before he went to the hospital, So, big blow. Greg was kind of like me, Doug. He hard guy to understand in a kind of a rough, but he was a good dude. I got along good with him. Maybe we got along good because we were both assholes.
Okay, yeah, right.
I mean, but keep them in your prayers tonight, please, his family. So, what's up, Doug? Not
Well,
much. Hi, Dean.
nothing happening here. How are you?
Nothing happening here. Not much on the docket tonight.
Right.
Not that our president wouldn't give us plenty of, his
That's
speech the other
true.
night. I'd turn it off.
Well,
Can we get into that first?
yeah, let's do that because that's in my crowd.
It's on my mind. It just, and while you're bringing whatever up, I know you got something you want to bring up there. And, you called me the other night and said, hey, he's on. He's on. So I flipped channel over. And yes, the shooting in Texas is a great tragedy. Don't anybody think that I'm not taking that lightly. It is a great tragedy. Anytime something like that happens, it's terrible and should be dealt with. But there's some things that really bothered me about his speech, Doug. And I know you got parts of that speech you want to pick apart, and I'll let you. But the thing that hit me the most, and as a president, he went to the funeral. He went down there, sat with the family at the one funeral and everything, and he's talking about this, and I got so mad. Not that he was sitting with the family, because that's what presidents are supposed to do in bad situations. I turned the TV off. I changed the channel back, cussing. Debbie goes, what are you cussing about? What are you? He hasn't fucking acknowledged the 13 soldiers that died on his watch that he caused. He hasn't acknowledged that. Max Soviak was from this area. Remember Baker Mayfield put his name on his shoes?
Yep.
What'd that family get, Doug? What the 12 other soldiers? What did they get? Not taking anything away from these kids that died and the families that died in Texas. Please don't take that the wrong way. But what did Max Soviak's family and the 12 other soldiers? They died because of his mistake. What'd they get? You know what they got? They got when one was coming off the plane, him going, wonder what time it is. I got to get out of here.
Right.
He hasn't said their names yet.
Right.
He hasn't acknowledged them. That's why I was pissed, though. I understand you going to a funeral of a school shooting. I understand that. It's one of the few things I do understand about this president. You know what I'm saying, Doug? That's what leaders should do. But he's going for the wrong reasons. Why wasn't he? If Trump was still in office, you probably would have seen Trump at the memorial at Edison High School for Max Soviak. He would have honored these. This son of a bitch ain't even said their names yet. It's like, poof, if I don't say nothing, it'll all go away. It hasn't gone away with me. It'll never go away. The biggest blunder, and there's plenty of blunders with this asshole, Doug. Plenty. The biggest blunder was when he did that and didn't acknowledge it. It's not so much everybody makes mistakes, but he was told this is going to happen. He was told exactly everything and then tried to lie his way about it. And it cost 13 soldiers. Now, many soldiers lost their lives in 20, 21 years in the Middle East, Doug, but this was needless, and he didn't acknowledge it. That's why I'm so... Yeah, you're right, Joe. I'm down here in Texas because that's where they flew me. That's where they flew me.
Right. So he said, prior to you getting on, he talked about the Second Amendment, and he said, quote, "It is not absolute," end quote.
The fuck it ain't.
I know.
Where the fuck do these come? That's about the fourth time he said that, Doug.
Well, you know where he's headed with it. We're going to
Yeah.
change it.
We're going to
That's what he
change it.
wants. That's what he wants to do. He wants to change
And he
it.
brought that up in his speech the other night. You know, let's not forget this. And I put a post up, and I'm surprised Facebook, in all their wisdom, who didn't catch, you know, Lord forbid you people say a wrong thing over in that room within 2-3 minutes, you're boom, you know,
Right.
you're gone. But
Right.
they didn't catch killing my grandma, gonna go shoot this school up. That's okay. But Biden, you know, it's absolute. Sorry, Joe. It's absolute. Evidently, you're 40 some fucking years in government, and evidently it is true that you were so low down in college, you weren't up in the top 25% of your class. You were down in the bottom fucking 99%.
Really?
Evidently, you missed history class and government class and all that because guess what? Them amendments are absolute. They are absolute. You know, and if you people watched the State of the Union, Doug, quote unquote, he praised the Ukrainian citizens for grabbing their rifles, grabbing their assault rifles, grabbing their shotgun, and fighting the Russians. And in that, what I wrote today, or yesterday, or maybe was it yesterday morning or this morning, I can't remember, but it was yesterday morning. In that, what he also said, if you can remember, the way to hurt a country is we shut the Nord Stream pipeline down. That's the way to hurt that country. Well, Captain fucking Obvious, you were the one that opened back up. Trump had it shut down. You opened it back up to go through Germany for Russia, and but not you, Joe Gibbons, but you opened it back up. Then you say the way to hurt him was shut down their pipeline. Let us not forget 4 hours, Doug, 4 hours after he's sworn in, swipe of the pen, executive order killed the Keystone Pipeline.
Yep.
So if you stop and listen, what are people this blind? Are they this blind? Hey, you don't need an assault rifle. You don't need these rifles. We need to ban these. You shouldn't own them. Hey, Ukrainian citizens, thank God you had them to fight the Russians. Hey, the way to hurt a country and cripple a country is shut down a pipeline. Well, 4 hours into your office, you did that to us. Nobody's listening. Or they're ignoring it.
Now, did you listen to the whole thing from the time you started?
No, I couldn't listen. I told you. I shut it off.
Well, there was no resolution.
No,
I mean,
and you brought that up. We talked about this. And bring up to the people what you were telling me. The difference between Trump and Biden.
Trump would have said, regardless if it was wrong or right or whatever, he would have said, we're doing this, this, and this. That's what we are doing. That's how
what we're going to do. And
this
is how it's going to stop.
Mashed potatoes was just like, and we gotta find a way to stop this from happening.
Find a way to stop this. We have to find a way. You're right. I'm stopping this.
Right. There was it just sickens me how he actually does his press conferences and the way he speaks. But it's meaningless. Like there's just nothing behind it.
And Joe, see that comment? Lorraine Steelmill. Okay. Joe, I'm going to assume that's what if you guys can go back before Trump got elected, Lorraine Steelmill, a big part of the blast furnaces and everything are done. They're shut down. On the east end of the mill is USS Pipe Mills. They were about done. If you guys can remember, they were shutting down. Trump took office. First executive order he put on is all pipe for the Keystone pipelines. Any pipeline in the United States must come from the United States. Remember that, Doug? That's one of the first executive orders he put. Boom.
Right.
Any pipe being used for pipelines in that USS Steel kept going, making pipes. The pipe mills kept going. Biden does this, and unfortunately, there you go. Yeah, there they go. Well, the problem is, in my opinion, Joe, the problem is once they shut that down completely, there's a lot of that. I can remember working number 4 Seamless when they redid that in 1987. A lot of that stuff's outdated, and once it shuts down and it's down for a while, it probably would cost way too much money to try to fire all that up again, in my opinion. But it's a shame. How many more jobs now? And this son of a bitch was even in Lorain, Ohio, remember? When he was talking about some river that we had no clue we had in Ohio.
Right. Right.
Huh?
What was that? Yeah.
Well, at least I got Toledo right. I know where that is. Remember that? It was
Right.
he was trying to talk about the Maumee River, and he said the Wapakonat or whatever river or whatever.
Right.
Like, he, but
So he missed social studies and history.
yeah, in government class too.
So he was upset this week with his staffers because they didn't
Depends.
they did not tell him that there was a baby shortage formula.
What?
Yeah, they did not.
He's going
tell
to
him.
blame his staff for that, huh?
Mhm. He didn't know about it till I think the end of April. Yeah, end of April. Whatever. It was well into it. That's
He
when he found out.
realizes we're in fucking June right now, right?
Yeah.
And this has been
Yeah.
going on like 6 weeks,
Cool.
and he's just now going to address it
Yeah. Yes.
because that congresswoman brought out how much was down there on the border.
Right. So in turn, he's looking like a good guy because hey, I was sending all this down there. Nobody told me that we were having a shortage. I sent all that down there. That's
Sorry
his
about your
thinking.
luck. Sorry, folks. And Mark brought it to my attention actually 2 weeks ago. We were talking, and the FDA. There's no reason for the one place that makes formula not to fire up yet, except for the simple fact the FDA is dragging their feet. Why? You think with a shortage, why would the FDA drag their feet?
Why would there be a big old egg farm set on fire in the middle of the night?
And you better go look. There's all kinds of plants went on fire. If you take a look in the last year and a half, there's all kinds of plants went on fire. Processing plants, egg plants, chicken processing, pork, meat. All these plants have burn up. Isn't that precarious? You don't see the fucking media covering that, though.
No, you got to find this stuff on some off sites that report on it. So go back to the Bilderberg group.
Yes.
They're the ones who's going to decide what stays and what goes. And
And
mom and pop
even-
businesses are not part of that plan. I can tell you that.
No,
Firsthand experience.
Compliant bitch. Yeah, you went through a bunch of shit down there with the health department.
Yeah.
Listen, hey, real quick, though. Here's the thing. This country's set up to challenge stuff. You got a right to challenge things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When a health department or a local government agency comes out and tells you this, and this, starts ripping your ass because of this, and it's challenging. If you know that you're possibly right, go on and challenge them. Watch how quick they back down. When you question them and they don't have the right answers, and all of a sudden they're looking at you like, how do you know that?
Right. Or holy cow,
Doug
we never
did it
thought of
again
that.
firsthand.
Yes.
Yeah,
So here's the story. So we have this park we're putting in for kids, and there's a concession stand that's going in. Well, in order to make that a legal concession stand, you have to have the state approve everything. You have to have a plumber inspect the plumbing and all that, which we know and we're doing. And we want to get a temporary permit. So one thing leads to another. Anyhow, we're down there, and the health department says you can put up a tent and like have it right up to your building, and you can do anything. Yeah, we did talk about it. We can do anything outside in that tent. We can fry, we can cook, we can, just like the Beverly Hillbillies, we can do anything outside. We can't go into the building. So she said, make sure that you have, someplace where you can wash hands and things like that, like a bucket or something. And I said, okay, well, we're right there by the sink. Can we just use that? Oh, no, it hasn't been inspected. I said, what do you mean it hasn't been? Well, you can't use that water from that source because it hasn't been inspected. I said, so I can go to the neighbor's house. I can go down the street and get water. I can get water from any place but there. Yeah.
10 feet away.
Yeah. I said, are you hearing what you're saying? So you don't care if anybody else's place has been inspected or where I get to, even if you don't even know where I get the water from.
Yeah, Jim Bob's house across the street's okay, and it hasn't been inspected by the state, but 10 feet away ain't.
Right, where we actually put that in there for that purpose.
Yeah.
So the guy looks at me and he's like, well, you shouldn't be using it. It's not inspected yet. But they did end up saying, yeah, we could use it.
Well,
but
what choice would they have? I mean,
so stupid. And we can cook outside in the open air where there's flies and bees and everything else. Yeah, right. But we can't in a building that was designed for concessions because it hasn't been inspected by the state because they want certain type of ceiling tiles. They want certain flooring. They want certain this and certain that. But we can be outside in the dirt.
And that's okay.
So I'll never get a temporary permit again.
Yeah, probably not. But the thing of it is, this is what we learned in the pandemic in 2020 beginning.
Right.
This is what we learned. When the government says, well, you can't do that. Oh, the majority of people, well, they said we couldn't do it. Why? Why? You need to question and what's sad is you need to question everything they say, Doug, because how many times have we called the state of Ohio? We waited until 8 o'clock. Okay. I called Doug. Okay, man, it's 8 o'clock. Here we go. Every day and get somebody. Well, you're not this. Well, what do you mean? We're not this. Why? Well, your rule says that your mandate says this, and it. Well, no, that's what it says. Do we know more than you? Do we know what it reads more than the people?
Hold on. Let me get
to the supervisor. Boom.
And see into that.
Yeah. Every day. So just like our federal government with this gun, yeah, the amendment is absolute, Doug. It is absolute.
It is. And those things you can't challenge. They're there.
It's absolute.
Yes.
Mandates, the stuff that Doug went through, you can challenge.
Right.
You
can challenge.
You can challenge. Amendments that have been in place for hundreds of years, you can't challenge. They are absolute.
And if you're in a state of Ohio, your money's being wasted when it comes to our attorney general. Yeah. Because he won't talk to you on the phone. You have to sue the state of Ohio in order to get him to talk to you.
Yeah, he will not negotiate, so to speak, or reason, talk to reason, work something out before it goes to litigation.
Or just even listen to the complaint and say, well, you know what, you got a point. Yeah. So exactly. So our taxes
go up. You got a valid point.
Because,
let me check into this.
Yeah. So our taxes go up because he don't want to. We would have to sue him. That's what they said. You have to sue the state of Ohio. He's not going to get on the phone and talk. Yep.
Yost will not talk to you. You're going to have to sue the state of Ohio before he talks to you.
Yeah.
So what that does, people, our own attorney general, what that does is causes you a bunch of expense, hiring a lawyer, suing the state, then they talk, and let's just say, throw numbers. Oh, I'm going to win 15 grand. Well, you didn't win shit because it cost 12 grand in lawyer fees. And how many days did you take off work to go down there to testify this, that, or the other? So They got you over a barrel. Our own people that we put in office won't even talk to you. And it's bullshit.
That's right. We elected them. They are supposed to be working for us. So if I have a question for Yost, he should be on the phone with me, or at least send me back the information I need. Not sue us, and we'll take care of it then. And I asked that specifically. I said, "Do I have to sue the state of Ohio in order to get?" And yes, you would have to do
Yes.
that.
Yes.
He's not going to get on the phone.
I'll never forget that phone call back when you.
Man,
Can you believe this? And Joe, the F word was flying out of his mouth that day. Trust me. Tell your wife, he sounded worse than me that day after that conversation.
I was pretty heated about that because that's ridiculous.
But Ron, you're right. And now that we're talking about taxes and they work for us, we got another subject that we talked about last week, and I've talked to Swearingen, and who knows, it might run.
So yeah, while we're on the state of Ohio, Chris did
reached out to Swearingen.
And what Swearingen, he didn't say yes or no to anything. He just kind of asked some questions, which that's legitimate.
We're back and forth, and I said, hey, here's a good campaign actually. We vote you in, you work for us. Every state employee has to take a drug test. Many of you out there on the other side, there in the room, have to take a drug test. State employees is mandatory. Go work for the state. First thing I do, federal government, you're going pissing in a cup, blood, hair, whatever they decide to do. Why isn't our legislators taking a drug test?
Right.
And what he said was, it's a good question. And I said, well, that's a question that a whole lot of voters would like to know and feel that you're making the rules, And he says, well, and he wasn't trying to get out of it or nothing, because I honestly believe he thinks that's a good idea. He says, well, we're elected officials. Maybe that's their out. And I said, sheriff's elected. He takes one. Swearingen says, well, sheriff carries a gun. I said, my response was, you carry a pen.
Exactly.
And make the laws that the sheriff has to enforce, which is even worse, and he basically thought I was trying to get him to push this through before elections, and I'm not. I think it's a campaign ad, and I think the process should start. Now, I honestly believe, I'm going to talk to him again about it, this week. I honestly believe this is something he should bring forth. I feel, just like me as a heavy equipment operator, I'm subject with the company I work for, and Tommy, I don't know if Tommy's watching, he'll tell you, I'm subject to 4 or 5 different places that can pull a drug test at any time on me, period. They come up and give me a breathalyzer, Doug, period. I feel it should be the same. Same with the state workers. The state workers can have breathalyzer tests, drug tests at any time. They pull you, you got to go. I feel the same as our legislators. You show up to Columbus, we already know Nancy Pelosi's drunk half the time, but you show up to Columbus to vote on bills and laws that are going to be in place for the state of Ohio, that we, the people that are paying you and paying for it, I feel that, there should be every once in a while up, blowing the tube. Sort of one of them pull them out as you want to, blowing the tube, piss in a cup. Every legislator gets elected in, and every legislator in Ohio right now, including the governor of Ohio, should have to piss in a cup, just like every single one of their employees. They're an employee of the state of Ohio.
Right.
They're not above that. They are an employee of the state of Ohio.
The people are the state of Ohio.
Right.
So they work for us.
We demand
drug testing. Since you mentioned Pelosi, so boy, that'd be bad. The whole thing about her husband and the porn charges and all that was all satire. It was started I think out of New Jersey, some website. They take real stories and they add stuff to them.
Yeah, Marty knows. Marty does a lot of work with the pipeline, Marathon Oil and stuff. He knows that anytime they can pull it. Marty right now, for a company I used to work for, is doing a lot of stuff for the railroad, derailment, cutting it. They come out there at any time, pull you out, go piss in the cup. You're on railroad property. They can do that. Now, and that's fine. It's a fine line if you're going to legalize marijuana. How do you and the other thing that I always say is you want to ban assault rifles because all the shootings and everything. Well, if you research DUI deaths compared to assault rifle deaths, let's put apples to apples here, Doug. Why aren't we banning beer, alcohol? It outweighs it quite a bit. Injury and death on DUI compared to, but we don't even talk about that. It's like cigarettes. They really want to ban cigarettes. They really want to, but they won't. Because instead of banning them, the price of cigarettes is going up all the time. It isn't the manufacturer, it's the taxes. Yeah, well, you're right. I'd probably fail that.
They do have it. I think it's the test that Biden won't take.
Yeah, it's a competency test that he's been asked to take several times and refused to take. Every president's taken it, gone back a ways, has taken his test except Biden. And his aides and staff that didn't tell him about the formula shortage, probably the ones that are fighting that off.
Yeah, we want him to look stupid.
Does this involve crayons and coloring book? No, he can't take it.
While we're on Ohio, we are kind of progressive Ohioans. We're the one that's going to go to constitutional carry here in a few days. Next week?
June 13th.
Next Monday.
Yes.
Not this Monday. Don't strap it on yet. We're also House Bill 99 is going to, first of all, under current law, a teacher would need the consent of a school board plus more than 700 hours of training to bear arms in school. 700 hours.
700 hours. That's what a fire. Isn't a fireman? The first tier full-time fireman. Professional, not volunteer, but full-time. Isn't that 700 hours?
Yeah.
How much does it take? How many hours do you need to become a police officer?
Probably not that. So that's what it is currently. Well, thanks to the schmuck that we got, he looks like one. He's probably not. He's not, because he came up with this. He's submitting. Actually, this has already went through, and I think it's waiting on signature. The teacher would need consent of the school board, which I don't know about that, and to meet certain training requirements, which are capped by the state at 24 hours, unless the local school board demands more.
Look, Julie's got it. 240 hours for a full-time fireman. But you need almost 3 times that to carry, same as a police officer. So basically, yeah, you're right, Joe.
Right.
Yeah. And I'm okay. Here, I don't know if it was Mark, I don't know if it was you, Doug, or somebody. You ever see school shootings in Israel?
Not that I know of. I don't know.
You know why? Have you ever seen the kids on recess in Israel? Pictures of the teachers, women, men, don't matter. They got an AR strapped right to their back, dude.
Really?
Right to their back. Yes. Look at it. Do some research and take a look. They got a rifle strapped right to their back a lot of times when they're out in that. Yeah. Yeah, they got them right in the classroom. You walk into an Israel school to try to play stupid, you're going to take 5 steps. and they're going to pick your body up off the floor. And just like that sheriff that I love in Florida. I don't know if you've seen that, what I put out, what he said. I put it in the chat room with you and Mark. That Sheriff Grady, I think's his name.
Yeah.
Just like that. Oh, that guy died because his heart quit beating. Well, you shot him 58 times. Why'd you shoot him so much? Because we ran out of bullets. Or it'd have been more. That's what he said. Remember that guy that shot that cop and they caught him in the woods? And the coroner. Now these are people we need in the White House. The coroner said, "Well, cause of death, his heart stopped beating." That's right. Well, he was shot 58 times and bled out. Well, that's why his heart stopped beating. His heart stopped beating. That's why he died. He didn't put, due to gunshots. But we need more people like that. The sheriff, Grady Judd. He's the one that said in Polk County, he promotes that you have guns in your house. And if someone comes into your house, shoot him, kill him.
I watched a lot of his videos.
Yeah,
he does great press conferences.
You know what? Sheriff Apiro out there, Tent City was a great one too. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget when they says, "Well, these poor guys don't have air conditioning." He'd come out and says, 40% of my taxpayers don't have air conditioning. Well, this is inhumane. So what are you going to do about the 40% of taxpayers in this county? They don't have air conditioning. Why should they? If you don't want to sit in Tent City, don't do the current.
Right.
And this is what we need more of. But we want to take guns out. They want to take gun control, put it in. How's that working in Chicago? I've said it a million times. I'll say it again. I said it last week. If you want a gun, you get a gun. You got the right amount of money, you get any gun you want. Serial numbers, round off, whatever. Now watch the FBI not. Hey, can you take me where you can get these guns?
Right.
But the Second Amendment is absolutely a moron. It is absolute. Sorry. I understand the first two amendments. He's trying to dismantle in a bad way.
Oh yeah.
I mean, with this committee with Biden on it, trying to silence people from talking if it's negative. Well, part of being a United States citizen is you can question things, and it might sound negative. That's part of being a United States citizen.
Right.
That's what it was all based on. When George Washington and all them sat down at the table, they didn't say, well, in 2022, we're going to have a bunch of fucking idiots around. So, let's make this so it might be changed. They made it to where if you get into the Bill of Rights and everything, you have the Second Amendment to overthrow the government if they're not for you, the people. If you read into everything, it's the way it works, Doug. You have that right to overcome tyranny of the government. And I tell you right now, it's close. It's close. And when he gets on TV and he says, well, nothing I can do about the gas prices, nothing I can do about the inflation, nothing I can do about this. Let's talk about prescription drugs. Well, you can lower prescription drugs down. These people on SS, Social Security, the elderly people, well, they don't have the gas to drive to the goddamn drugstore. Their natural gas went up. Their electric went up. Everything's jumped 40%. Oh, by the way, Medicare's jumped, and they'll probably get popped again in January, Doug. It'll go up again. And we gave them an 8% raise, but, we took 11% back out of them because there was a raise in Medicare.
Plus.
It is.
All right.
It's a joke.
So, since you brought that up, not jokes in the White House, with the inflation, gas prices, all our manufacturing places burning down, all the shootings and stuff.
Yeah.
We've decided that we, the United States of America,
the administration decided. Okay, rephrase that. Because we means us and the people in the room.
We did because hey, listen, it's going to end up being signed United States of America, so we're all in this together. We decided that we're going to set 700 million military aid package to Ukraine. Okay.
What about 33 billion that was up?
That's already there. They needed a little bit more. They need some chump change. So what we're sending them is 5 counter artillery radars, 2 air surveillance radars, 1,000 Javelin shoulder launch rockets, 50 command launch units, 6,000 anti-armor weapons, 15,000 155 millimeter artillery rounds, 4 M-17 helicopters, and 15 tactical vehicles, in addition to spare parts and equipment.
Well, let's do this instead. Let's go back over to Afghanistan and Taliban and say, hey, listen,
we need
we're taking half the shit that we left here. We're taking it and shipping it to Ukraine.
Yeah, they needed a little bit more. You guys aren't fighting here.
And you know that 700 billion that we left in cash, wasn't it billion? 700 billion, Doug, that we left cash.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna take 600 billion of that. 100 billion, you guys can do with that. 600 and send it over. Why are we doing something like that?
We're trying to help.
Help who? The Taliban?
No, not over there. We're talking.
Why aren't we taking some of that shit?
Because we don't want to disarm them.
Lord forbid you disarm the Taliban. We spent 20 years doing that and then turn around and then you know what you're going to hear? Well, no, that was ISIS. It wasn't the Taliban.
So I think 700 million could probably make some happy people in the United States.
Did you see what Marty wrote? 53 billion total. 53 billion. And we have homeless veterans and homeless citizens and people on Social Security struggling. And we don't give 2 shits.
Ron's got a good point.
Yeah. Right. I bet you, Ron, here's what I want you to do. I want you to call President Zelensky in Ukraine and say, hey, listen, do me a favor. Do me a big favor.
Can you give me $500?
I need this part. They're having problems getting this part on a recall. Could you tell Biden you need these parts sent over right away? You'll probably get it by
we gave you some money.
Yeah.
Could you give me $1,000? And yes, this used to be all you would
top
not
secret.
know.
You didn't know.
You would not.
And you know, it's like CIA. Remember George Bush, George W. I didn't like him at all, Doug. I despised that man. But a couple things I agreed with. One, when he had the balls, when they went in that school and told him, hey, trade centers just got blown up. We're going to take you. Where are they going to take them up to Nevada or somewhere? Hide them in the hole. You know, that shelter they got and everything. He says, kiss my ass. We're going back to Washington right now. And they were against that. Remember, they were against him coming back. And he said, I'm president and I'm coming back to Washington. I agreed with that. That showed some balls. Unlike what we got now. The other thing I agreed with is waterboarding and shit. I agreed with it. And when the left side, remember, that's when the whole shit started. That's inhumane. That's uncruel. You know, it's cruel punishment. That's, you know, it's you can't do that. This, that, and the other. And Bush was basically saying, we're not really hurting them. We're getting information we need. You know, they didn't care when They're over in them streets and put it up on camera. Remember the Turkish jet fighter they caught, put him in a cage, threw gas on him, burn him alive.
Right.
There's one example. Beheading people in the streets, showing it. Who cares? Look, I don't want to know, Doug. And this is our problem in this country. I don't want to know what the CIA is doing to get the information. I don't care. If it's to protect our country, I don't care, including whacking guys. I don't care, Doug. It's not my business how they do their job to protect our country and our citizens. And it all got fucked up when everybody got nosy and wanted to know. You realize that? Am I wrong?
No.
That's where it went south.
Well,
our military, I don't care. Listen, if you got to send a squad in to do some shit, it happens every day, I'm sure, but I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Well, you might want to know this.
Oh boy.
So that adds to the existing 4.6 billion in security assistance that we've already granted to Ukraine. And then the $40 billion Ukraine bill that was signed May 21st will be coming into effect.
Who the fuck's paying for this?
We are. We're helping out.
And we cried, listen, the stimulus bills, remember? We all went fucking goofy over who's paying for this. We passed a stimulus bill that put $17,000 debt on my grandchildren.
Right.
What kind of debt is this putting on our kids? They're handing, I'd much rather just see us go in there. We're done sending you money. We're done doing this. You know what, Putin? Here's the deal. You got 10 days, get the fuck out. Period. And all of a sudden, next thing you see is the fighter jets and everything else. And going to wipe them out and get them out of here. We're doing the same thing. We're spending more.
We're one world under the Bilderberg Group. So, do you remember me? And I've always said this since the that pandemic we had. I've always said it's almost like we're reversing roles. Like we're the third world country now.
We are.
Food's scarce. People having problems paying their bill. These, I'm going to show you two of them. It could be propaganda to the citizens that these are playing in front of. One's from China, one's from Germany. I'll play them and then we'll talk about them.
Sie hat nur wenig Zugang zu nahrhaften Lebensmitteln.
Before I go into that, you have to read it because it's in their language. Can you read it? Can you see it?
Well, that's all part of the United States language yet. Go ahead. Yeah.
All right.
Sie hat nur wenig Zugang zu nahrhaften Lebensmitteln. Ihre schlechte Ernährung kann zu Diabetes, Herzkrankheiten und einer teuren Abhängigkeit vom Staat führen. 49 Millionen Amerikaner leiden unter Lebensmittelunsicherheit. Sie sind hungrig nach mehr als nach der nächsten Mahlzeit. Sie sind hungrig nach einem Wechsel. Amerika braucht unsere Hilfe. Jetzt.
There's one. Here's the one from China.
美国，这个全球最富裕的国家之一，仍面临着饥饿的困扰。在这个国家，尽管食品供应过剩，却仍有4900万美国人在挨饿。许多人无力负担健康的食物来提升生活品质。帮助美国，从现在开始。
You're rubbing your head. Remember, we used to do that for other countries.
China depends on our fucking wheat and grain.
We send it
They-
over to them
they
so they
don't-
can feed us.
What? Are you fucking serious? Is this
Those
for
are real. Those are real ads. One was a few years ago. One was 6 months ago. One from Germany. One from China.
You know, if I was a Chinese or fucking German citizen, I'd be going, why are they fucking starving? They're sending billions to Ukraine.
Right, if they even know that.
But I'm just saying, this can't be fucking real.
It is
So
really real.
What is the Bilderberg Group? Listen, we preached. I'm fucking sick of talking about the Bilderberg Group because there for a minute people fucking started saying, well, you guys are in this Bilderberg Group conspiracy theory. We from day one when we started this show, and it's been almost a couple of years now, Doug. You realize that? It's been almost 2 years from day one. Yeah, damn, I don't want to fucking out. My kids are they're definitely getting homeschooled now. Fuck you all.
We'll let them know.
Yeah, but you know, from day one, one of the first shows I think we did, we talked about the Bilderberg Group.
Yeah.
And we talked about them, talking to everybody. Oh, you guys, conspiracy theories kind of laugh.
Loony.
What the fuck's wrong with you? The Bilderberg Group. Jesse Ventura, remember?
Yeah.
We that
Try to find that. Try to find it.
Where he stood outside the gates of the building and talked about this in 2009, I think it was, Doug. The conspiracy theory. Jesse Ventura had the show Conspiracy Theory. Ain't on no more. And you can't even find reruns of something.
Now, was he governor
YouTube.
before that or after that?
After. Before. He was governor before he did Conspiracy Theory. And go try to find it. You'll never find a Bilderberg Group one. He questioned that, and it was aired one time, and it was never aired again. Period. And it wasn't long after his show was shut down. Remember? They yanked the show, boom, you don't hear nothing about it no more. You don't hear much about him anymore, as a matter of fact. Yeah, but to the point where, like, you know what? Fuck it. Y'all don't believe us? It's the old Mark loves it. FAFO. Well, fuck around and find out.
So the first thing they did, they instituted a global tax. That was the first thing.
It's in. That come from the Bilderberg Group.
Yeah.
Not the world governments. That come from the Bilderberg Group. Boom.
Yeah.
It's in.
And now you notice who owns the most farmland in the United States?
Yeah. Bill Gates and China own most farmlands.
He is on the Bilderberg Group.
Bilderberg Group.
And he's doing a whole different type of meat or something. I don't know.
Synthetic meat.
Yeah.
Synthetic fucking meat, and you'll get used to the taste.
Right.
You know what? I wish we could get Jesse Ventura on this show. Then we'd probably all disappear. Me and Doug. Hey, Chris ain't in the tower. We ain't heard from him for a few days.
Right.
Debbie's looking for him too. I'd be out in the lime out there in the quarry in that egg lime. Another 2 months, you won't find traces of hair or teeth or nothing. But listen, stop and look and research. If you're out there and you didn't believe us for the last year and a half, we had talked about them much in the last 6 months because people thought we were crazy. Just research Bilderberg Group, look it up, and do the research. Don't go to just one. Go to about 5, 6 and research it. China's there. Remember when Japan was the one that was going to get us, Doug?
Right. China is helping feed America.
Yes.
They're
sympathetic.
Yes.
They're going to send food over with
your name on it.
I better watch what I say here. You know, boom, we'll be gone.
Well, we should
remember where the coronavirus started.
we want to thank them for helping us out, feeding us. It could be.
You're right, Joe. Joe's right too. Their timeline's right there. It's going. And here's the most dangerous thing that nobody's looked at. The most dangerous thing in the whole world right now. It's Bilderberg Group got their global tax in. It only takes one thing to get in. Guess what? Boom. They're going to get more and more and more and more. You don't hear nothing about the world conferences they just had, Doug. You notice that? The conference they had with the World Health Organization and the World Conference they had. What's the media reporting? Not a fucking thing. Not a thing.
And you know, they want to reduce the population, and it is reducing considerably. Just think about it over the last 2 years. And
Marty's right. Marty is right. If you look at that, Marty's right. We've borrowed so much money from China. Well, one did, I think, isn't it? Didn't one Smithfield? No, that was the coronavirus that was shutting them down. Yeah, you're right. I never thought of that, Doug. I never really thought. Greg brought up a good point. It's mostly American processing plants that have burned to the ground. Smithfield meats. I mean, don't buy it at the grocery store if you don't have to. Don't buy anything Smithfield meats. It's China owned. They come in and bought all of Smithfield meats, processing centers and everything. It's China owned. Don't you remember at the beginning of the pandemic? We've never seen this in our lives. And it still to this day amazes me how this didn't scare the shit out of everybody. Where you walked in a grocery store, you're only allowed 2 of this. You're only rationing.
Right.
And at the time, if you can remember, Smithfield shut how many processes because of Corona? Remember? Oh, we're coronavirus got us. We have to shut down. All of a sudden, boom. Oh, you're only allowed 2 fresh meats. You're only allowed this. You're only. Ooh.
And don't forget now, the global tax was put in place because of this. They didn't want, China not to be able to get their stuff into the U.S.
Yeah.
They wanted it at a reasonable rate so that they can flood the market.
What was Trump? Remember Trump? He was bitching about the taxation, import-export tax. He stood China down on it. You want to stop China from their shit? I tell you what, Marty, here's how you stop China from calling it. Well, okay, you want to call in your loans? Okay, we got a coronavirus problem at our shipping docks. We can't ship no grain or wheat.
Right. I didn't know that. I did not know that we got $15 billion.
To wine?
Yeah.
I guarantee you the wine didn't. Maybe our legislators voted that in, but it wasn't something that somebody surprisingly smart enough to tie his shoes every day, and I ain't surprised if Fran don't tie them for him.
All right, let's give away some pizza. We know that's U.S. made, right out of Clyde, Ohio.
Clyde, Ohio, Big D's. # No Bull Show.
Right. Hashtag.
If you put it up there, we'll start putting it. I hope that that's true, that our Ohio legislation, I haven't heard anything about that. And of course, the media ain't going to put that up.
I think we got some good people in there. Aside from the weirdo cat lovers and the license plate and the sugar cookie and all that, there's some good legislation coming out of there on guns,
Listen, Doug, I said it many times. I said it about Swearingen. I said it about Paquita if he would have got, moved forward. I'm not going to agree with everything that they're for.
Right.
I'm not going to agree with everything that they do. As long as I feel that politician is doing something that he feels is in the best interest of we the people, I'm not going to agree with everything. I'm okay with that, though, as long as I feel he's doing what he thinks is best for us, not what's best for the agenda. And that's why I like Paquita. Telling her, Mark Paquita got railroaded in my mind. He got, and so Blystone.
Right.
Joe Blystone took the biggest ass ripping that I've seen in a while when they put Renacy up 3 weeks before the election.
Right.
With all the money and ads and everything. But regardless, that's Ohio Republican Party that, is, in my opinion, just corrupt as the Democratic Party. When you get into the GOP of the state and Democratic Party of the state, they're all corrupt. They're all corrupt. They're bought and paid for.
Right.
That's the problem. You had Blystone, who's never been in politics in his life. Who was buying him out, Doug? I mean, here's a guy that said after you're 62, 3 years old, and you own your house and you shouldn't have to pay property taxes no more. You really think that either side of the party, they're like, holy shit, what's this guy talking about?
Right.
And he had Mark, who was like Trump. I don't want the fucking money. I don't think nobody realized that. Mark, I don't want paid. Give it to the veterans or whatever. I think he should have pushed that more, but that's here nor there. But, it is what it is. How many we got in there?
We have 7 of 12.
12. There's a fucking joke. 12. We're being monitored. I'll go into it after this because my fucking blood pressure is boiling right now. Go ahead.
All right, let's draw it.
You got 2 weeks to redeem.
2 weeks. Big D's Pizza, Clyde, Ohio. Here we are. We are a winner.
Roller again.
All right. Let me find the little mouse. There we go. Hey, we are quite the winners tonight.
Dean, you owe us 2 pizzas.
yeah, we're counting these out. All
Greg
right.
Miller.
Greg Miller, you now are winner. Winner. And that's it.
So let's get into this. Because it just burns my ass. I know there's more than 12 watching.
There is.
Okay. And I know
It's 13.
there's gonna be more reached as the week goes on and what they'll put.
Mm-hmm.
They'll fucking monitor us. And monitor you over there. If you say tranny or something like that, boom, right now within 3 minutes. And we made jokes of this, and it's really not a joke. We see something go up over, well, you got a couple minutes, and boom, we're right.
Yeah.
A couple minutes later, boom, I get a message, hey, they got me. But a little snot-nosed motherfucking piece of shit can put up that he's going to kill somebody and nothing. Why isn't Facebook held accountable? Does anybody answer that question? Why is Facebook not being held accountable for this?
You're right. Oh man!
Yeah, we gotta run the disclaimer.
Wow. Hey, we don't own the rights to the music we played at the beginning of the show either.
Yeah, we'll get hacked for that. Whatever. But why is Facebook not being held accountable? The training word.
You're right.
But they'll monitor us. A little show? I'm out of my fucking garage.
Right.
I seriously, let's be real about this. I'm out of my garage. Okay? On Sunday nights. And you got to squash down. You know, when I know there's 30, 40 people watching between YouTube, Twitter, if not more, there's 30, 40 people watching. And you fucking got to say that because you're worried we might get a sponsor or something. And you know.
And we could go syndicated and be all over the world, except Japan.
Yeah. Greg can't watch now.
Well, he won, didn't he? Who won?
Yeah, but he just sent me a message. He can't watch now. As soon as he put Smithfield and China in the same sentence, his froze up and he can't get back on. There you go, motherfuckers. Are you serious? A kid can put up what he did, and you don't do a fucking thing about it. But he puts two words together in a sentence, and you're going to freeze him out? Are you serious? You communist bastards.
Maybe we should go to a different day when they're paying regular pay.
Yeah. If that kid would have done it on a different day, it wouldn't have been an overtime day. We'd have caught it, right?
Right.
Listen, there's triggers. Okay?
Yeah.
There's triggers that they hit, that they click. Kill should be one of them. If tranny's a trigger, kill should be. Right. Am I wrong, Doug?
No. And he used both killed and kill.
Yeah. And nothing. But Lord forbid, you say tranny, Chaz gets 3 days. Robbie Sisco just goes in and breathes in here and he gets 30 days. Robbie Sisco can say, hi, well, that's offensive. Boom, 30 days.
There you are.
Several people warned, Greg put Smithfield and China all in the same sentence, and now he's froze up and can't come in no more. Hopefully he makes it back on. But Lord forbid, if you put up there, I killed my grandma, I'm heading to school to kill a bunch of kids, that's okay, Doug.
It just seems
because it's a fucking agenda.
Yeah, it just seems like when we hit on something, shit happens.
Now, I guarantee you, two things will happen by tomorrow. One, we'll get that little fucking notice that some parts of your show's been taken out because of the song we played.
Right.
Okay, and two, we'll get some little notice about something I said, whatever, or Doug said, or, be fact checked by a bunch of fucking Chinese fact checkers. And that's where they come from. I don't know if you guys understand that. Yeah, right. You're right, Joe. I don't know if you guys understand these fact checkers that you see. Candace Owens exposed that. We put a post up about that. Remember, it was a year ago, maybe. Candace Owens suing Facebook and all them fact checkers, and she put a post up. Well, we had one post after when we put her deal up. We had one post after, and we had a video before, and there was like a couple 300-400 reached. Remember that, Doug? And then that Candace Owens one, 28 reached.
Right.
28. As much as we talked about her, anybody that's on our page would have went and watched that, what she said.
Mm-hmm.
But no, it was Candace Owens, and she's talking about Facebook fact checkers and everything else. Go into your phone when you're on Facebook, where you see all the fact check. You go in, I forgot how to get there, go in. You'll have 100 fact checkers there checking your shit. And you can delete them out and block them. Go back in, go to block, how to block someone, where they say search name, put fact checkers. You'll shit your pants when you see the list of fact checkers. You'll be scrolling for 20 minutes. Block them all. Then go back 2 days later, because I can tell you right now, I got a couple hundred. Once a month, I delete 200-300 out of my phone. out of my Facebook. And all because of this show. A little show from my garage and from your house and the living room or your office. And they're worried about us. Why? Why do we get censored so much, but a kid can say what he said and not nothing? Nothing. Right. And why is Facebook not, if Obama and them have this committee, why is Facebook not getting smacked for that? Question I'm asking. It's a question, not a statement. It's a question. Facebook and you little fucking Chinese fact checkers. It's a question.
All right. We're done?
Yeah, we probably are after that comment.
Yeah, right. We'll see you in a couple weeks. Yeah. You asked a couple questions last week about the Uvalde school shooting, about this sheriff or police chief.
Now, held him up for an hour.
Are you aware that he is the police chief for the school's police department? The police department belonged to the school. He's in charge of the security for the entire school with campus.
Yeah, so he's the one that fucked it up.
The state says it was the wrong call. The reason that
Bye, Joe. Bye, Joe.
Oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, see you later, pal.
Wow. So yeah, let me just talk about this in a second. Yes, he mentions it a lot in things that he says that were overpopulated. So anyhow, the sheriff, this police chief, is the police chief for the school system. They decided not to fire him at a school board meeting.
What reason?
They
I hope that falls true, Joe.
Here's the problem. It was a what's it called? Where you go behind closed doors?
Yeah, executive session.
Executive session, so we will not hear anything about it other than they decided not to.
That should not be executive session. That should not be. And now, here's where our federal government should step in. The FBI and all them should be down there investigating what went on in an executive session and why. Why? So he didn't get fired.
He did not get fired. The reason he didn't send anybody in is because he thought that it was a hostage situation.
He saw what? Okay. So you're hearing bam, 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 bam. We're under a hostage situation. Well, they just killed all the hostages then. Am I wrong?
It's not funny, but yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's not funny at all, but I'm being serious. I mean, seriously, the guns, you took an off-duty Border Patrol agent that had a wife teaching and a kid in that school, went in and killed the guy. How much longer would they have waited? This is the question of the day. Well, you can't hear that gun going off in there?
No.
If the gun wasn't going off anymore, the gun wasn't going off no more because the Border Patrol agent extinguished the guy.
Well, the gun boy fired off more than 100 rounds.
Well,
so that sounds like a hostage situation.
Jeez, Pete.
Joe Givens is still here. He's going to make it through this. Here. That's awesome. So this guy is running for the Uvalde City Council. Pete Arredondo.
That's the mayor? I mean, the police chief?
Yeah, he's going to run for city council, or he's running for city council.
What? And what you get on?
And he's a man in hiding, as they say.
He should be.
And everybody wants him fired, but the school board said No.
Then they should
They
do a
should all
recall
go
on
too.
the school board.
By the way, when he did arrive, he did not have his police radio with him.
Why?
Well, it
So he
doesn't
don't have
say.
a cell phone either?
Well, I mean, I'm sure he grabbed somebody else's to start talking, but he showed up without his.
Why would he not have his police radio on in a situation like this? This is got so much stink over it that it ain't even funny. And whatever. You know, and we wonder. And Greg can't get back on.
Who?
Greg.
Well, tell him he's a winner. He's still a winner.
Smithfield, China. Smithfield,
No.
China. Smithfield, China.
Let's start a chant.
Oh my God. I you know, it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy what happened. Anytime our kids get killed like this, it's a tragedy. You know,
Right.
But the problem, Dean, he said, give it to the fire department. Thanks, Greg. I know you can't hear us, but thank you.
If you ever watch this again.
Yeah, it's a tragedy what happened. But once again, let's go to Sheriff Grady Judd. See what he said about it?
What did he say?
You as a police officer are obligated to protect and serve. Doesn't matter if you have Kevlar vests on. It doesn't matter. And if you go after our children, we're going after you. It doesn't matter what you get. You're obligated to protect and serve. And our schools are one of the most important places that you need to protect and serve at. And he was pretty much asking himself for an investigation in a roundabout way of why we did it.
You know, when I was in EMT, that was kind of pressed in our heads about you don't pass up an accident, you know, unless it's already, you know, EMS is there and all that. You see an accident, you're pretty obligated to stop and assist until, you know, an ambulance arrives.
You know, here, if I can remember right, and I don't know if we have any EMTs or anybody that went through. I went through in '87, I think it was.
Yeah, mine was a long time ago.
You could actually, back then, you could actually get in trouble if you didn't.
Right. That's what I thought.
You were obligated.
Mm-hmm.
And you could actually get in trouble. And I believe, I don't know, criminally charged, but you could have your license stripped if you didn't, if they found out. That was, once you became an EMT, firefighter, whatever, you were under obligation to help in a situation regardless. Whether you were from that area or not, you know, it was required basically. But and it's the same with the police. Now, all I gotta say, Doug, it's most supposed to be a bunch of sissies on that police department. Because if you think if I'm under oath and I'm one of them cops, and he said stand down, and I'm hearing them guns go off, that gun go off,
Right.
I'm not standing down. I'm going in. Right. Joe's still here.
That's awesome.
I'm going in. You want to fire me for insubordination? That's fine. I'm sure somebody will hire me. Grady Judd will probably hire me. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, but I'm going in. So what kind of people do you have working on this so-called police department for the schools? What is this, like substitute teacher deal?
You know what? That's a good question.
You know, why is not the state of Texas, which we don't know, they might be investigating this, past the county, local school board? Why are they not investigating? Why is the federal instead of Biden coming on TV talking like he did about assault rifles, why was he not talking about? Because I guarantee you, fucking Trump would have said straight out, "We're going to have an investigation why they didn't go in."
Yeah, you need to go.
Yeah, he would have called that police chief right out. Yeah, you're right, Marty. But I kind of blame on the emergency side of it, like EMTs, man. I kind of blame the lawyers because even as a citizen, you were covered under what was called the Good Samaritan Act. Remember, Doug?
Right. Yep.
And but lawyers walked right through that. So you're right, Lori, and that's exactly and there was some shit going on. I'm not going to say who, Doug. I talked to a racer last night after the races, helping with the go-kart track. That might give you an indication who, but kept his kids out of school for 3 days because there was talk in that school district about a threat of it. And he kept his kid out of school for 3 days. It's become a sad society when there's just even a little talk about it. And you got to keep your kids, you're worried about your kids going to school.
Right.
And I personally think that it's going to come to I personally think that, Jesus Christ, Tommy Hayward's on, and he just sent me a text.
What?
Apparently a shooting and a big fight at my church festival in Willowick just now. Many police there, shooting not confirmed yet. What the fuck has this world come to when you're at a church festival and have this?
I don't know.
You want to know what? Doug, I'm going to go off want to go just because that bothers me. That deeply disturbs me. You want to know what this world's come to? I'm going to tell you in a nutshell. I seen a post out of Clyde, Ohio, the Clyde page. You smacking your kid's ass is just as bad as domestic violence. No, it's not. It's not as bad. That's what it's come to. We have no responsibility anymore. No accountability for your actions as a kid because we've taken the discipline out. Instead, you give them a timeout. Well, you're in a timeout. What's a fucking timeout? I wish I had time. I'd be in prison. Straight up. Let's be honest. I'll be straight up honest. If my dad wouldn't have beat my ass when I was a kid and I got timeouts, I'd be in prison right now. I was a rotten kid. I tried everything you could try, but I knew there's some shit I didn't try or do for the simple fact I wasn't worried about the police stuff.
Right.
I was worried about getting my ass beat when I got home. That's what I was worried about. We don't have that no more. I see kids in grocery stores, everything. Tell their parents, shut up. Nothing.
Yeah.
Oh, he's upset. No shit. He'd be fucking crying if it was,
Yeah. You're right.
There's no accountability. If a kid does something real fucking stupid, we play it off. Well, he's got depression problem. Well, who don't when they're 15, 16 years? We all have. There's not one fucking person out there in the right side or anybody that watches this show that didn't at one point or another had a fight with depression in your life. One point or another. And you know how you got dealt with the anxiety problems and depression problems that they're all trying to feed Ritalin and everything else? They didn't have Ritalin. They had Ritalin. Right. You got your head riddled upside, hand right. Riddled upside your head.
All right.
And that's where it's coming to. You got people going in. Even if there wasn't shooting, Doug, now you got people where there was several cops being called to a church festival. What the fuck have we become? We got an administration, and we'll probably get in trouble for this. I wasn't going to go here. Now I'm going here, Doug. We got administration on the left side. They're the ones that took fucking God out of school, Doug. They're the ones that took prayer out of school. Remember?
Right.
Oh, you can't mix. Well, let me tell you something. Old Biden become pretty religious in the last 2 weeks. Listen how he talks. We need to pray for this and God this and religion. All of a sudden, in the last 2 weeks, if you listen to him, has come back into play. Have you noticed that? Anybody else noticed that? He's talking about praying and God bless them and God. Well, wait a minute. Once again, how stupid do you think you're the ones that took it out, Doug? Put it back in. Put it back in. And put ass whoopings back in.
Right.
You screwed up in school when I was a kid. You had to go out and get your ass whooped by the paddle. You prayed to God they didn't call home. You prayed they didn't call home. Listen, I'll take 10 more whacks on the ass. I don't care if you blister my ass as long as you don't call my parents. You know, you would have been willing to. Now we got this shit going on. Yeah, right, Chaz. That's another thing that disturbed me deeply. Your side took it out.
Mm-hmm.
And now you want to inject it back in. Well, it's too late. You can't say we can't do this and then turn around and come on national TV and do the exact opposite of what you're saying. Well, evidently you can because he is, Doug.
Right.
Whatever. All right.
All right. See if he can give you an update. Well, and just a couple crazy things going on.
And listen, we'll probably get smacked for this comment too. If you got guns, hang on to them and get ammo. Because you think it's bad now, it's going to get a lot worse. It's going to get a lot worse. The shortages and everything, people are going to start stealing, Doug. You know, the old theory, keep your gas tank full. If your vehicle's parked outside, you might not want to keep it full. You might want to buy gas every day because fill it up and somebody will have a siphon and empty it for you.
Yeah.
It's coming to this. This is what they want. It's going to get bad. We got an awful lot of shit when we were talking about the Bilderberg because it was gloom and doom. Remember that, Doug? Well, maybe we're too gloom and doom.
Yeah.
Well, here we are. You want to talk about gloom and doom? Wait 2-3 more months. You're going to see worse.
And Willowick, is that where he's at?
Willowick. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Watch, it'll be on the news here soon.
It'll be on the news. Well, maybe.
Depends on what the agenda is for today.
Yeah, you're right, Marty. Yeah. Remington loves them. Remington and Mossberg loves them. So Smith and Wesson, and you know. You're right, Robbie. This is it's gonna get worse. There's a light at the end of the tunnel. Well, we ain't gonna see it for a while. Simple. We're not gonna see it for a while. It's going to get a lot darker. You know, you might be able to see where you're walking right now, but here in another month or two, you're not going to see where you're even walking. Period. It is what it is.
Well, let me end on a good note for you. This is a 7-second clip. You got to watch quickly. All right. And I want you to look at the way she's dressed.
Oh boy.
This is good. Huh? Let me play the clip.
All right.
Where'd she go? Here she is.
Guys, it happened. I got dress coded at Disney and I was told to leave or get a shirt. So now we're getting a shirt.
Now, let me go back to the picture. I know this is just not a question to ask. Do you have an issue with the way she's dressed?
Truth? Yeah, no. Yeah, no. You want me to explain that? I will.
All right.
Yes and no.
Okay.
Take her down. I need to be looking at the yes side of it. The yes side of it. I just put something. Somebody put something. Timmy, you commented on it a month ago about the 80s look and this, that, and the other. You ever think that we have so much crime going on with girls like that and that because of the way they do dress? They don't leave much for the imagination.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, is she pretty? Yeah, she's pretty. But she's showing a lot. So I do kind of have issues with that to a point. But on the no side of it, we've let this go as a society.
So going to Disney World or Land, wherever she was, she got stopped and said, that isn't going to fly here.
I don't.
Lots of children, lots of teenagers, lots of 20-somethings.
I don't know. You go to the beach, see worse.
Yeah.
I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, here's where my problem is no, I don't have a problem with it. Okay, so turn TV on. Turn TV on at 6, 7 o'clock at night even. You see a lot worse than that on TV. You know, we can't play Pepe Le Pew, but we see worse than that.
All right.
And here we go into
you're headed right down
the LGBT thing. Now we have commercials with gay couples, lesbian couples together kissing on commercials and stuff. We chastise that girl for going there like that, but when we play for millions of people on TV, worse than that at 6, 7 o'clock at night.
Okay, well, what Disney said to her was they don't allow tops held together by ties or strings because they could come undone or get caught on something on the rides.
Okay, well,
okay,
I see that. Well, then next time Disney makes a movie, they shouldn't allow anybody in a bikini in the movie.
Well, there you go, because here's one of their cartoons. These are seashells.
Under the sea.
And is this Ariel?
Mm-hmm. But how do you know that? I've had kids and grandkids, you know.
She has a string holding her seashells together.
One of the Disney princesses.
So how can you tell somebody that and then put out videos like that? Well, look how that chat's on fire tonight.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Oh, no. Don't say that, Chaz.
Yeah. Well, here's a prime example. How many of you guys remember on here when Soak City went in at Cedar Point? I don't know what year it was. It was back in the early 90s. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. See you later, Julie. You might make it through. Chaz Clark. Bye, Julie. But I don't know how many people remember when Soak City went in at Cedar Point when they built it. I worked on it. I had to go back after they opened. I'll never forget this. And we had to pit that we had to go inside the pit and fix some pipe and that. It was a 6-hour job. The third day we were there, it was a time and material job, so it didn't matter. We were getting paid. The third day we were there, my boss called me. I was superintendent. Hey, Chris, why is it taking so long? It was really only a 6-hour job. Man. You got to come out here. And it wasn't long after when Cedar Point banned thong, bikinis, and different had a dress code, which I understand. You know, I get that part of the dress code thing. But my problem with places like Disney is they're going to tell her that's not appropriate. But have you seen some of the movies they put out for that younger people can watch? If you're on a beach, if you're doing a beach shot on a movie, they got less than what that girl had. And for that matter, you know, come on.
Well,
You know, she's got a bra on. You can clearly see it.
right.
I mean,
So I would be all right with it. But that's me.
but the problem is this. So go back to what I was saying. You know, I can't remember. Tammy commented on it. One of our friends on Facebook put up a shot from. You know, I remember back in the 80s, 70s, and 80s. You know, women look good. They look good. And they didn't dress like that.
And your teachers didn't.
Yeah, no. Well, no, our teachers didn't.
Right.
Yeah, trust me. You know, Tammy, I'm against thongs. But, you know, butt floss.
Yeah.
But,
we're going to go.
but you know, you stop and think. They look good, Doug. And they didn't have to dress like that. I say this, people look at me stupid. They leave no. Greg's back.
All right. Welcome back.
I can't see her here, but comments are coming from others.
That's good news.
Everybody tell Greg hi. But you stop and think. There wasn't, you know, there was, and I'm probably going to sound like I'm old, but it left the imagination.
Yeah.
You know, or today, you see some of these kids and you're like, what the fuck? There's nothing left. There's not, you know, and then they wonder why shit happens. You know what I'm saying? They wonder why when a girl's walking down the street, you know, looking like a prostitute, what you think is going to happen. Nobody should ever have that shit happen to them. But what, you know, it's in today's world. How do you, you know, can't make fun of somebody's hair, but, you know. All right.
One last thing, just a public service announcement. If you have children who are engaged in the Pizza Hut reading program, there's a book called Bedazzled, and that book is about dressing up in women's clothes and going out on the town. It's a children's book. Yeah.
Pizza Hut joined in on this shit?
Yeah, it's a children's book. So do as you please, but that's just a public service announcement from Pizza Hut.
So I won't eat a Pizza Hut no more. Or when I walk in, should I say,
I'm bedazzled.
Are you identifying as a woman? Are you a woman? Are you?
Hey there, I'm coming in.
Yeah.
I'm female tonight.
Yeah. I'm female. Do I get the discount?
Right. What do I got to do? Yeah, it's the whole drag thing going on.
Yeah, you know what I mean, Lord. Yeah. But yet, you know, she can't wear a shirt that's tied like that. And if you look at that shirt, can you pull that picture up again?
I can. She wanted to stay on the screen, but you wouldn't let her.
I know. If you look at that, I just wonder, because I don't know young girls' clothes. Is that a shirt tied up? One shirt tied up?
Or is that a tablecloth ripped up?
You know what I'm saying? Tied up? Or is it two parts of the shirt?
Well, that's a good question. Do they make shirts that are like that, where the stitching's inside?
I don't know.
Or did she actually have to tie it?
Or is that like a tank top that she pulled up and tied up? You know, I've seen them do that, pull it up and tie it up,
Right.
and it looks.
Nobody's gonna comment on that.
Yeah, tame and disgusting. It's disgusting.
Just can't take it.
Yeah, 20 years ago, I'd have liked it more. All right, people. Once again, our condolences go out to Greg down at Barberton Speedway, his family, and the racing community down there. It's been a tough couple of years, Doug, in the racing community. Tough. And, you know, it's... And Greg was a good guy. Hard to understand sometimes, but he was a good dude. He had a big heart, and I knew him personally for years. And so, say a prayer for his family and the racing community down there, if you would, in Barberton. We'd appreciate it. It's happening too much, Doug. It's just happening way too much, and you know, sometimes you wonder. You sit and wonder. So, other than that, you got anything else you want to?
I have nothing else.
So, all right, people. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, we're on next week, 8 o'clock Sunday. Hopefully.
Right.
I'm sure we'll get some notices tomorrow, especially on the fact checker comment. I'm sure we'll get spanked for that one, but whatever. God bless y'all, and God bless America.
See ya.
Good.